Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for the Messengers New Game Plus Any Percent tournament for Speed Gaming Live 2021. This is the losers bracket finals match. So the winner of this match is going to go on to face Grandius for the grand finals for the tournament. I actually have Grand with me for commentary today. How you doing, Grand?
Doing great. Looking forward to this amazing match between two of the top runners. It has been quite a journey seeing how much this category's developed, and these two runners have developed, are kind of at the lead on that. And I'm really excited to see what they pull out today.
I am too. We're gonna get them started here in a second. I think Yeah, let me get them. All right, their timer started right now. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Actually, if I think I had this up, so we have HalflingHelper and AssasinNarga that are going at it, and they actually had a match back in the semifinals where Halfling beat Narga and dropped them into the losers bracket. Halfling then took you on earlier this week, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Where you took that win, and now Halfling is going up against Narga one more time. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we got a bit of a rematch here, which is, it's always exciting to see. And I remember previously both runners kind of, when they raced each other before, they kind of had a match where they both weren't 100% happy with their performances. They died a few times, and it's a rough category. But this time, let's see, what kind of practice they've done. Maybe it's revealed, hey, I need to practice this level a little bit and whatnot, and hopefully they're able to, get one of those runs that they're happy to have in a race.
Yeah, so we always hope for. Just come in and have your best run.
Mm-hmm.
We see him starting out right now. So I'm predominantly a new game runner. So it's really fun to see this tournament build up and watch the New Game Plus community grow and see it speed up even more. Because with all the tools at play, even the beginning of the game looks a lot different, right, Gron?
Oh, absolutely. Like Ninja Village is kind of in New Game more of a just hold right and kind of get through the level, do a couple jumps, couple slashes, and you always get like basically the same time. New Game Plus, though, already tons of crazy little bits of tech and optimizations going on to, separate these runners out right from the beginning.
We'll see a couple of small details and strats. Really fun to play with. For instance, the kind of like slides into cutscenes that you get with the rope dart.
You gotta love them.
Yeah. Little swag slides.
We'll probably be seeing those on the first boss coming up too. Usually there's a little bit of a slide at the end, so you get to see that again. Not too long.
So we'll just see them just kind of casually exiting Ninja Village, and we're going to be going into Autumn Hill. So this is where the run really starts to take off. Since we have all the upgrades and everything, we're just going to go fast the whole time. We may make a pit stop or two to help with that.
Yeah, they will be wanting to make a quick stop by to pick up the windmill shuriken. Because this is New Game Plus, normally you'd have to collect all the power seals, which takes forever to get this very powerful item. But for them, it's just going to be right in the shop. They're just going to walk in and take it, and it is going to allow some awesome stuff. Like, the stuff that really separates New Game Plus from New Game is because of the windmill shuriken.
Yeah, it's wild what it breaks and what we get to do with it. Let's see some fast fights and a lot of awesome skips. Let's see. It's funny enough, one of the reasons why I was contemplating New Game Plus as the next category I'd like to get into when I can get back to it was because I was tired of practicing turtle boosting.
Yeah, turtle boosting is a very particular technique. It involves turning and slashing a turtle very, very, very fast. You have to have a very good turnaround. And you do not see that much. Even with the most optimized strats of New Game Plus, there's only a handful of turtle boosts that you'd ever want to go for, and really they're very, very minor. So New Game Plus, because you have the rope dart, you're usually just rope darting stuff, because rope dart is so fast versus like boosting. But coming up, we have possibly one of the really cool techniques. I know both runners are going to go for this at this level, absolutely. The Ultra Steel. It looks like Halfling's got a good setup. Narga as well. I noticed Narga actually had a little different height than he normally does. Normally he throws a windmill shuriken on that Firefly, but he actually had a backup based off his height there, which is just beautiful. Insane.
Both of them nailing it. Halfling just appearing to be seconds ahead. At this level, I'm seeing the details and difference all having to do with how fast you cut that corner. Just the minor details that are really going to make a difference in this.
Oh, absolutely. Rope darts too is one of those things where it's like you can always have longer range rope darts if you play. If you want to risk it, if you want to try to get that extra little distance, you can go for it. But you do risk missing the rope dart entirely. In some cases, that puts you into a pit.
We come into the first boss fight, the Leaf Golem. In New Game Plus, a trivial fight, we're going to see just the amount of damage that windmill shurikens can put on a boss. And then that little swag slide we were talking about earlier, just to inch you ever so much closer to the exit by those frames.
Yeah, you gotta love the swag slide. Every time you can see it, maybe we'll see some swag spins too on some of the later bosses.
I hope so.
Yeah, same. It's always great to see. Here's Forlorn, the longest level in the game. Never mind, it's done. They're in catacombs.
Yep, we're good.
Already dropping in.
Don't fret though. We will be back, and for a huge reason too. Just keep this place in mind. We get to see our good buddy Necro, one of the Phobicans that helps us get into Forlorn later in the game. We will not need his help.
Yep, and he's the only Phobican that will be rescued in this run. The other ones, unfortunately, are going to have not the best fates in New Game Plus.
They'll just be trapped in their own nightmares. And we're sorry for that.
We got to go fast, so we're just going to skip them making that bridge later. Oh, boy.
Yeah, we see with they both did it. So you'll get to see a lot of scary strats, at least for me to look at. When they have the upgrades like that fast swim allows them to get that momentum out of the water and in the water to do some fun stuff early on.
Catacombs too, like there's so many cycle-based things that if you want to get the best cycle in a lot of these rooms, like to get ahead of a crusher, it's usually pretty risky. You're usually pretty close to getting crushed. Like there on Halfling screen. Yep, you'll see it again on Narga's. It's just, everything is tight. The tiniest mistake can really be very bad. Narga, though, getting the full yeet on that section, going absolutely really fast. Actually catching up a little bit to Halfling there, because Halfling did not get the full yeet through both those rooms.
Yeah, I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of those moments as these doesn't have the Narga doesn't have the health.
HP.
It left the HP to go fast to that room, so I had to wait on the cycle. I imagine we'll see a lot of these very risky strats, as you can see how much time it feels like they lose when they don't. A cycle can lose you a couple seconds, and that's seconds they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming up here on HalflingHelper's screen, we're going to get to the first kind of RNG point of the game. Now, in New Game Plus especially, there's not that much impactful RNG, but this boss is one of those spots, and it's a 50-50 of whether Ruxton is going to go up to the top or the bottom. So we'll see what both these runners get. Hopefully, Ruxton plays fair and keeps it the same on both sides.
The high Ruxton there, what we want to see.
Absolutely, Halfling getting some good windmills looping around here. Very fast kill. And Narga also getting
There we go. This is a race.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Narga took a hit in the fight. but still got the top kill.
Yeah, absolutely, super fast, and that's one of those things where if Ruxton goes low in this category, it's about like 8-9 seconds lost. So I'm really glad that they, Ruxton played fair, and now we're gonna have Halfling moving into Bamboo.
Oh, Bamboo! I think Bamboo's even cooler in New Game Plus. Just look at that; you got those like one-tile swims that turn into wow.
Oh, even getting the rope dart on the gate as it rose up at the end.
I couldn't even keep up with all of that. There's so much, like little things that you can add in. Being it this early in the game and having all those upgrades, so that was so cool to see. And I know that those particular strats are not easy. The practice it takes.
Yeah, not at all.
Because your inputs are so specific and your height and all that.
Yeah, it's so easy just to accidentally grab a wall or just like bonk into something or, land on the ground that you just lose your speed in all those cases.
You'll also see a little bit. I was talking a little bit about turtle boost. You see something akin to it in a room like this one at the very top, I think. Because I saw. You just see. No, never mind. But you saw it in the couple rooms before where Halfling kind of spun around real quick and slapped the little trigger there so that to get pushed forward frames. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you too saw in that climb room them making use of that windmill shirk and just having it loop around, hit stuff, and every time it hits something, they get that cloud stuff and get an extra jump. So there's a lot of rooms where you could really make use of that to get those kind of like jumps out of nowhere to really, ascend fast.
We get to go into Howling Grotto next. One of the biggest standouts for me in this is definitely the boss fight. But Grant, for you as a more seasoned runner of this particular run, what's the standout moment for you when doing the Grotto run?
I think Grotto overall isn't too bad, but there is a few little things here and there. There is a teleport coming up. We'll see if the runners go for it. I'd say that's one of the standout moments. Does Halfling get it? Yes, nice. Very fast setup on that as well. It can be awkward to get over to that skeleton and get the teleport. Also, later on, we'll be seeing what strat I call the companion shuriken, because you throw a shuriken at the top of the room, drop all the way through the room, yeet, and then that shuriken gives you a cloud step at the perfect moment to get through the next room. So I'll point it out once Halfling approaches the room.
That's so cool.
Double damage boost on Halfling's side in the DK room, going so fast that Saul wasn't even out of the way. So he just damage boosts right on through.
Let's see, Narga just entering that room.
Let's see.
Nice.
They both went for the double damage boost
nice.
on those Sauls. That means that room is insanely clean. You love to see it. And Halfling approaching this room. So you'll see him throw the windmill right there and dropping down. Now, if things work out, he should get a cloud step as he goes through the door. Oh! Unfortunately, Sticky Ninja. Halfling. That was a little bit scary. But Narga now going to be going for the same strat. Let's see if Narga is able to pull this off. And Narga. Oh, no!
Oh!
I think his jump got eaten.
What I saw, because I think it jumped a little too late and it bonked on that corner there.
Yeah. Oh, man. That is absolutely brutal.
Oh, no. Yeah, so that's
what
I was kind of...
Narga getting it, going for it again and getting it.
First try. That right there is why, like, all of these fast, like, yeets and quick movements with the rope dart are so challenging, right? Because you wait less than a second and it turns from a great move to a death.
Absolutely.
And luckily, that's not the worst one, but...
It's not too bad, yeah. I mean, you hate to die this early in the race because, you're going to be feeling that. But hopefully Narga's able to recover because, as you said, it wasn't that bad of a death. Meanwhile, HalflingHelper getting a very clean one cycle on the Emerald Golem. Let's see if we see any swag spinny boy here. Oh, Halfling!
Oh, I love it.
The swag spin.
That's so great. And we see Narga coming in to start the fight. Halfling gets a few jumps off of the boss because that just happens. Windmill Shuriken's that powerful.
Absolutely, and yeah, Narga as well. Just
Beautiful.
Both runners getting such clean one cycles there. That is not trivial at all.
The DPS from those are just nuts.
Yeah,
We see them juggling it to keep it out as long as possible.
And that's nice teleport there on Halfling's in, starting off Cool Shroom here. But yeah, even that looks simple, like just looping those 3 windmills around you, but it's not that simple. Like when you first learn New Game Plus tech, it takes a bit, to get that down, the rhythm and knowing when to jump to get those windmills to loop around you just right. So both runners just making it look easy.
We're now in Cool Shroom Marsh. This is just a selection of long rooms, nice sounding mushrooms.
Perhaps even the longest room in 8-bit.
That's what I've been told. Yeah, it might even feel more legitimate now to say that right room is just hold right. Just hold right and you'll get through it.
Yeah.
Plus a few other things.
Yeah, maybe a couple other 50 buttons, but I did read on a Game FAQs article that there was indeed two checkpoints in this room, so as Narga goes through it.
Yeah. And depending on how they're doing, they can skip. We talk a bit about how dangerous this place can be depending on what checkpoints they skip. Not much of a concern for these folks, especially in this particular part of the stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of them just, making great use of the rope dart and the windmill in combination. That's one of the things I've loved seeing is, like I said, these strats being developed and seeing how useful the windmill is. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was really good.
Super clean movement on Halfling's end.
That bully room can get annoying, but when you have those really quick drops, then that room just looks awesome.
Absolutely, and one thing I want to talk about here as soon is Halfling's going to be coming up on the next boss, the Queen of Quills. And this is a boss almost every runner has a slightly different strat for. You can get a really fast one cycle in New Game Plus, but I'm not sure if Halfling goes for that. Halfling might manipulate a really fast 2 cycle, so we'll see what Halfling goes for here. Okay. I think Halfling's going to be going for a 2 cycle, so Halfling's dealing just the right amount of damage to avoid the whips attack, because that's really slow, and instead Queen will just be dead right here. So really fast kill. Now, I do believe Narga actually goes for a 1 cycle fight, which is a little faster. So if Narga is able to pull this off, this will narrow that gap just a little bit. Let's find out here. Okay. Good opening, good opening. Gonna be looping some windmills. Oh, I think that hit is gonna mess up Narga up.
No.
Yeah. The quills hit him out of his he was trying to loop those windmills and it made him catch him when he got hit by the quills, and unfortunately that is the risk of that setup, is you can get the whips attack if you fail it. So meanwhile, Halfling and Crag's normally the spot where you get the rope dart, but Halfling just flying through right now.
Yeah, this is kind of the stage normally in New Game where the game really opens up. You get the speed, you get to play the rope dart. Of course, these runners have had it the whole time, so it's whatever. But it's still a fun stage to watch, especially one that's kind of built for the rope dart, and you get to see heavy use of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're going to see Halfling here going for the first major sequence break in the run. Normally, let's see if Halfling's able to get it here. Halfling does go for a faster setup that's a little trickier, and there it is. So normally you're not supposed to be able to get in that way. It's kind of like the back door into this room, and normally when you get in here, you're going to be in the future, in the 16-bit era, and there's a key here, or a note. It looks like a musical note. And you need all of these to get into the final level of the game. But you just go in the back door, get it right now, and you don't have to worry about backtracking all the way back here later, to get that, because you already have it.
Yeah, saving you a fetch quest and then a whole other section of the map. Narga's going for it right now. First try.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to point out real quick as well is Halfling has possibly the best 8-bit out of any runner in this category, I'd say. And so while we do see, because of that death as well, unfortunately on Narga is lagging a little bit behind. Narga has a beastly second quest, in my opinion. Not that Halflings is really good too, but I've just been really impressed with Nargas as well recently. So it's such a long category too. Like this run could end up being super close still. This race.
That's a nice thing about it too, as opposed to like doing like a normal 8-bit or linear run. There's so many more factors at play here.
Oh yeah,
and just a longer run. So yeah, we see them fighting Colossus and Susis right now. Is there much difference here between New Game and New Game Plus? It's mostly just you got more DPS. Otherwise,
yeah,
it's the same RNG.
I'd say there's less RNG that's like catastrophically bad in New Game Plus because you're able to one cycle a lot of these attacks, so you don't have to roll the dice again and get an extra attack on the same guy most of the time. So because of that, I'd say it's a little less RNG heavy in New Game Plus than it is New Game. So which is nice, because this boss, can kill New Game runs whenever it wants, like 20-second time losses if you're really unlucky.
Yeah, so they can get out of hand fast.
Absolutely.
We're heading to Glacial Peak now. Let me put my...
Gotta do it.
There you go.
Gotta imagine it's in there.
Yeah, gotta shovel please in chat for us going into... I love this stage. This was one of my favorite stages in 8-bit. For its climb, it's just every room is fun and fast, and it also at the same time feels kind of refreshing. Like you're working, and it's not that it's easy, but it's just I think it's just designed in a way where it doesn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, coming from Crags is a little more jagged. The level design, there's a lot more, like you see Glacial, there's a lot more like flat walls and stuff you could just climb up real fast, and flat ground you could run across. In Crags, it's all just, like all messed up, which makes it a little more awkward to get through. Whereas Glacial, it's just such clean movement you can get through here. It's just designed really well to have a great feel on this ascent up the Glacial Peak.
We hang out with this mysterious wanderer here. I'm sure we'll see him later.
Maybe.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really good movement there on Halfling's end. Now, I want to pay attention to Narga once Narga does get to that screen, because I think Narga goes for an alternate strat that's a little faster, but is really tricky as well.
Oh, I'd like to see that. Got another teleport coming up. There it is. Halfling gets it, no problem.
Really good climb here. Just flying through on Halfling's end. Insane.
Yeah, and you can see the small details before they were talking about, like the cutting corners and all that stuff. Like, Halfling having they cut and land. They're on the ground at the soonest moment. While it doesn't make too much of a difference. Oh,
Narga doesn't get the initial setup. He's trying it again. Nice. He does get it the second try.
Oh wow.
Goes over the top there. That is really fast because of the windmill. You could do that without the windmill, but you kind of have to drop down and use the vent. It's a little slow. But Narga doing that, unfortunately getting it second try, but it was cool. He got to show that off.
Yeah, that was really neat. I can't say I'd seen that one. We got Halfling going into the Tower of Time right now.
Yeah, this is one of those stages. There's lasers everywhere. There's spikes everywhere. There's crushers. There's a really bad time in here. And hopefully both runners are able to get through it deathless. But I do know that there's a few really risky spots. Speaking of which, Halfling going into the first risky spot, the Hail Mary. Oh,
but get
missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get the push here and at least beat the cycle.
Yeah. It's good that Halfling was able to bail out of that, though, because sometimes you're just trying to go fast and you end up in a laser and dying. So, good call on Halfling to react and wait there when he saw that things were going wrong.
Something to note something to note is one of the upgrades that our players have is that kind of dragon strike, or they have that ability where their first attack after a while does triple damage.
Demon's Bane, yeah.
Demon's Bane, thank you. And so you'll see sometimes they will do an extra strike somewhere to get rid of it in order to allow a trick to happen, because they don't want to kill the enemy. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. And Narga did get it there. That was nice. Halfling doing that room at 1 HP, which is really scary, but did make it through. This next screen actually on this screen right here on Halfling's End is a little scary too sometimes, because you do damage boost through this laser to just climb up. In rare cases, your rope dart will get caught in those little gaps where the lasers are, and it's pretty scary when that happens.
Yeah, because when that happens, you will not make it, so it's about recovering and getting to a safe spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Narga going into the really scary spot here at 1 HP.
Oh
boy. Yeah, play it safe. That laser's gonna respawn. Oh.
So close.
He was like a frame away from getting ahead of that laser, but it just barely clipped the back of the ninja. Unfortunately, going to be a death there for Narga.
Tower Time does not mess around.
Yeah, this is exactly why I was saying this is one of the scarier stages, I'd say. Probably the scariest in the 8-bit segment for races.
For sure. And it kind of sets you up for the second half of the game. Although I think that Cloud Ruins can feel like that to me too.
Yeah. And this is one of those things, if this was an 8-bit race, we'd pretty much know who's going to win. But this is an 80% run. Anything could happen in this category. Narga's just getting the deaths out of the way now.
There you go.
So it's going to be... it's all planned, basically. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Tower of Time is no stranger to killing runs and taking lives.
Absolutely. HalflingHelper now going into the final boss of the 8-bit segment on a really, really good pace right now. So we'll see if he can make quick work of this Arcane Golem.
We didn't talk about it too much, but rope darting allows for some other simple things like the amount of iframes you get from rope dart's animation is pretty insane. So you can essentially sit into attacks. Great fight. About a 25-19-ish.
Yeah, 25-19. That's with the key. So that would be a sub 25. Like that's, for reference, I think that run would only be like 15 seconds off 8-bit world record, and he got that in a race, without the key. So like that's super, super good.
Very strong start. Narga's going into their fight now, as Halfling picks up a really cool hat and heads into Cloud Ruins.
The coolest of hats.
So
I was hoping they would sell that hat, but go ahead.
If you haven't seen Turtle wear his on stream, that was a while back though. But Turtle used to have when he put on for 16-bit. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
I don't know about you. 16-bit Cloud Ruins is not my favorite level.
I'd say it's a really cool level to watch. It's just stressful to play.
Yeah. The music is awesome. I mean, the aesthetic is really cool. The rooms are stressful, and the boss is awful. in New Game Plus, not so much, but it's still there, right?
Yeah, it's still... Manfred's a little less bad, in New Game Plus, but man, sometimes he still gets away from you, even with all the windmill DPS in the world. Manfred, if you don't get the ball for it, he might just escape out and do whatever he wants for a while. Which could be pretty punishing. And yeah, there's a lot of pits that are easy to fall into. There's a few really scary rooms. Let's see Halfling how he does this room here. Oh my goodness.
That
Halfling,
hit, that's great. That's great.
Halfling is literally the only person I've ever seen where he's so fast he beats the first 2 spike cycles. Like normally you damage boost on that second spike. Second set of spikes, but he's just nope. I'm already past that.
Yeah,
really cool.
All right, Grod. So let me ask this: as we come in and get a peek at the Manfred, which is the boss of Cloud Ruins, we have these 3 sections, these Manfred chases. where they feel kind of Australia. They're just really long rooms, and you can find yourself outside the bounds of the camera as you're running forward. When do you choose to do that yourself? I know it's Halfling opting out of it.
Yeah, they're pretty scary. I mean, anytime you're off the screen and there's pits, like, it's pretty scary. I'd say the first chase and the third chase, though, you can kind of go off at the end and you're pretty safe, as long as you know the setup. I'd say the second chase is the one that, like, nobody goes for because it's really scary. Actually, at my ESA run, that's where I died. I went for that. And died on that second chase because it is scary. There's just a lot of stuff in your way and a lot of pits and weird spots that's hard to navigate, blind.
For sure. We let's see. I love Cloud Rune is just full of teleports. I love that tech for the teleport. I think it's so cool, and every time we find one, makes me happy.
Oh, absolutely. Now let's see if Narga opts to go for any... Oh, Narga is going for the off-screen. Oh, okay. Narga lost track, maybe, of where he was at, so he just waited. I respect that, because anytime you just don't have a feel of where you are, that's really bad when you're off-screen. It's super bad, so...
Especially, you can tell, like what Grom was saying, in this second chase, I mean, there's mall pits everywhere.
Yeah.
So it is not hard to, and I think there's one at the end too, and that's the tricky one.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Now let's see here if Halfling goes for this this damage boost. Oh, Halfling does get it. Oh, that was close. Because if that other spike hit him, he doesn't have the HP to survive that. So that was really nice. Narga goes for actually a setup where he still gets the same cycle, but he doesn't damage boost. He just kicks up super clean and gets through. So we'll have to see that once Narga gets there, if he opts for it.
Yeah, so they're really just a Manfred chase apart at this point. Halfling, our Red Kappa friend, Windmill Shurikens, just all having fun together.
Yeah, now I have a theory here. Every runner that I've seen kill that turtle does not get ball for it, and when you save the turtle, you get ball for it. So Halfling in every match, has killed the turtle prior, and I think he knows. I think he's learned. I think he's changed his ways to save that turtle to get this upcoming Balfred glitch. We'll see if it...
Oh! What was that?
Oh, no! Maybe Karma coming in now. Halfling's the one that dies into the pit.
Oh,
that is brutal. I've never seen that.
So it looked like Halfling dropped down. I don't know if that was intentional, though, because he rope darted that cloud, but I don't know if you can one-tile off of that.
I don't know, and now the question is, oh wait, the auto-scroller isn't here. I like how...
Yeah, that's right, because he technically cleared it.
Yeah, but Halfling now killing the turtle. Saying you're the one that's dying in the screen, not me this time.
It was you!
Halfling never gonna save that Kappa ever again. Let's see if he's able to get Balfred though from that first save. I'm not sure. Like he's both played the good guy and the bad guy in that screen, so I don't know how this affects the Balfred glitch. We'll find out.
So sets up here, gets in position, and there it is.
It does work.
Beautiful.
Very nice. So maybe, I guess letting him live the one time is enough. That was the cannon run through that screen, and it does pay off.
That's right. They stored that memory and said, you know what? Balfred. Assassin's just walking in, not too far behind with that death. Setting up, does not get Balfred, so we'll see. You'll see what the fight looks like normally. And in New Game Plus, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's already probably almost dead, but
Manfred, what a pain.
Manfred is escaping. This is what I was talking about.
How Manfred really works in those segments is nice. That last windmill. Based on the position of the head on the screen, will choose to go either up or down. So, especially in New Game, you learn that so that you can anticipate the next move. Geez. All right, let's talk about Underworld. Yeah,
and Underworld is one of the... I love this level. Like, personally, I just think it's a short and sweet level with lots of cool movement.
Yeah,
a really cool climb, and a boss that is not nearly as finicky as Manfred. So
not nearly. Although I have seen, oh god, who'd it happen to? Who actually accidentally went out of bounds during the fight?
it might have. Was it Belial? I can't remember.
It might have been. But otherwise, the only RNG you're really having to deal with is what lanterns show up first, and then adapting to that. But otherwise, I think the fight goes just about the same.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if Halfling's able to go for this yeet here. This is a pretty cool one, using this this hook. It's just a small thing, but you love to see it. Oh, bonks on that Kappa there. I'm a little worried for Halfling. Okay. Sometimes when you try to jump around these walls with spikes, you just jump immediately into the spike and die. So I'm glad that didn't happen to Halfling there.
Yeah, and Halfling did not get the checkpoint, so that would have been
very bad.
Terrible.
Yeah, look at this climb. Like, it's just awesome.
This room, so much fun. That climb right there, I think that climb is why I started running this game.
Really?
I think so.
That was one reason to start.
Yeah, because you do that jump, and the first time you do it, like, oh, it was so much fun.
Narga going for the yeet as well, getting the full yeet. Nice. And Halfling already almost done with Underworld, going to be going into the Demon General we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, really quick stage, both times. Just the only thing I had to watch out for is that fast-flowing Fanta. You can't run on those. Alright, so here comes the fight at the Demon General.
Yeah, Halfling holding back those windmills for a little bit, because if you over-damage him, he gives you a really bad attack. But we want him to do this, where you can get him stuck in the corner, and Halfling's doing a great job of super high DPS here. Gonna be finishing him off.
Nice.
34-23 linear time with Halfling. Really nice, considering that one death was, a pretty brutal one. Narga as well, coming up here. Gonna be finishing up the linear segment very shortly. Now, Narga does opt for a different setup here. I have seen it betray him before, though, but it is a little bit faster if it works. So, we'll see how it goes. He did grab one windmill. Yeah, he keeps those windmills going to get a few extra hits there. And it looks like it's working out really well. The boss is probably already almost dead. And there it is.
That was a little faster. I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit sooner in the animation. Not bad.
Good stuff on Nargas. GG. It was probably like a 35-10-ish. Nargas was having some technical difficulties earlier, so the timer isn't working out. But it doesn't look like Narga is too far behind Halfling here. This is only really like a third into the run.
That's true.
So.
That's true. We have just under an hour left of the run. Probably another 40-50 minutes, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So we take this moment, this long cutscene, to relax and get ready for, now that Linear's done, the second quest portion of the run.
Yeah, and I'd say this is the section of the game that's really developed the most since the start of this tournament, because, second quest is normally pretty intimidating. There's just a lot to it, a lot of screens, a lot of hard levels. But so it was kind of a little underdeveloped, since most people focused on like 8-bit. And it's really cool now to see some of these strats. For anyone that hasn't seen some of them, Halfling and Narga are gonna really impress y'all, I think. There's some really, really nice looking strats.
Yeah, it really helped, I think, too, when y'all started separating it out and actually had a second quest category, so that you could just strictly run this part of the game and still get something for it, without having to do a whole any percent run.
Yeah, that makes a big difference, because, a lot of times you're really comfortable with 8-bit, maybe even linear, but you have to play through all of that before you get to second quest, and then it's scary, and you immediately start taking deaths, and it's like, oh no. But in second quest, you just start right into it, so you get to practice it more, and get, more used to it, just seeing all the screens and trying to remember all these strats. So that is really cool.
We'll see that part kick off pretty much after the portals open. And then we'll see them go. I think Autumn's the call.
Yeah.
At this point, how much do you think the routing differentiates?
They're both going to go for the same route, I'm pretty sure. In new game, the routing is it matters a lot more because you actually care about your time shard count and like when you could buy some upgrades, but they already have all the upgrades. So the routing is mostly just headquarters movement, which it does matter, but it's not like the biggest deal in the world. This route just happens to time out to be the fastest going to Autumn first here.
I kind of like that too, because if there's anything I would love to get out of the way first, it's got to be G jump. So if I can get that done, out of the way.
That was another reason we were really happy this was the fastest route, because they also go for another Ultra Steal here, which saves a considerable amount of time and is difficult. And then you get G jump, Forlorn, so many hard sections. So doing this first is actually really nice for runs. Now, there is a crazy cycle you can go for here on HalflingHelper's side. Unfortunately, it looks like he bonked a little bit, so he's probably just going to skip the swing altogether and just go over the top, yeah.
Okay. I do like our revisit to Autumn Hills. The reason why we're here doing this revisit is to get our second note. As Agron was talking about before, we have 6 notes that we need to pick up in order to get to the final level and beat the game. So we're grabbing our second one. For those who probably saw earlier, that kind of cutscene that was weird and happening out of sequence in Searing Crags, this is what was happening. We were picking up a musical note. So the Crags one was the note of strength. This is the note of hope. And then we're going to move on.
Yeah, for a while I got confused on the note names, and I think my butterfly matriarch was called like Key of Symbiosis, and that boss doesn't even give you a key. So I get pretty confused by all the names.
That's so good.
But yeah, Halfling, this is going to be really cool. So you saw that Ultra Steal earlier. Both runners nailed it. Now they're going this route because they get to do another one in 16-bit, and it's almost the same, but there's one particular hollowed out tree that makes this harder. This one a little bit harder. So let's see if Halfling. That would be what we call the blue steal. That was kind of the original setup before Ultra Steal, where you just made it to that room. So it's still good getting that. But you do lose like 10 seconds-ish having to go through this room the normal way.
I imagine it still kind of ends in the same spot, though, in this room, climbing up.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Narga is going to be going for it well. So Narga might be able to get a little time back if he is able to nail this 16-bit Ultra Steal. So Narga going in to the room now. Let's see if how his setup works out. Good speed. Oh, does not quite get the cloud step.
Okay.
Yeah, gets the blue steal, but lower in the room, which in 8-bit is not a problem, but in 16-bit, as you can see, it's kind of a pain to get up there. So, fairly unfortunate. Now, Halfling going back into Forlorn, we were talking about this earlier, and now they're going to be trying to go for G-Jump to skip having to build this bridge. This is a very difficult technique. Yeah,
so it all has to do, I guess, with height and getting the cloud steps you need to make the distance.
It's going to be close! Oh! Halfling barely getting on there. It's rough if you miss that. Because, I mean, you have to do it eventually, so you got to just keep retrying it until you get it.
Yeah. The amount of time it saves is it's not even worth comparing. Like, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about skipping you're talking about skipping an entire stage and all that.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. So, Halfling going through Forlorn. Forlorn is no joke of a level.
Yeah.
There is a lot of tricky stuff here.
Yeah, Forlorn is that kind of level where they throw the kitchen sink at you, and then they also bring in some new things. But the only place I know of that has these rockets, so a whole new mechanic too. And then, let's throw Wizrobes in there, because we know you like RNG.
And spike cycles, every other... It's saw, next
intentional damage boost rooms.
We'll see what Halfling opts for here. Also, Narga getting the first try G-Jump as well. You love to see it. Halfling going through this It's kind of like the 16-bit Hail Mary. It resembles that screen and tower a lot, and Halfling getting it. Getting good damage boost through there, which can be pretty risky. So props to him for going for that and nailing it.
There's some really cool rooms in this particular stage. That, you know, just it's like where it's timing and hitting your cloud steps so that you can get through these. In new game, it feels really good, where like you perfectly land on something in time with the cycle, where you're not wasting any time.
Yeah, and here in New Game Plus, we do have the windmills, which kind of allows throwing them through walls and hitting some of these switches without necessarily having to do some unnecessary movement around to hit them.
Oh, that one right there. That's the one I always remember. It's just looking so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And Narga having a clean stage so far as well. So you love to see it, because Forlorn is, like I said, a tricky level. So just getting through here, like, somewhat clean and not dying is a great feeling.
It is brutal. And it's, I mean, not the shortest stage, so... and also is a really interesting boss. Which we will get to touch on here pretty soon.
Yeah, I would say here on Halfling's Inn, oh, that was an odd little looking damage boost there on the, or I shouldn't say damage boost, but accidental damage on that Kappa there. But I'd say there's nothing too bad here. This room could be a little scary on Halfling's Inn sometimes, but usually you could just kind of get through with a damage boost and you're fine. And I would say there's a really long room coming up, and I've seen runners die in here in these races, so I'd say that would be the one to look out for. Like the room after this one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of saws and a lot of damage boosts, and it can get pretty scary.
You'll hear us call it the Monka S room, and you'll see why.
I hadn't heard that one before, but it fits perfectly. Oh boy. Yeah, really clean
Beautiful.
on Halfling's Inn. Just absolutely perfect through that room.
I still think it's wild that they made a room where they expect you to just be damage boosting through saws.
Yeah, yeah, very true. Now, you were mentioning Demon King.
Yes.
And Halfling is going into that fight right now.
I love seeing this fight, especially New Game Plus, because of the windmill shurikens.
Wow, that is a fast open.
Yeah. And we want to climb with this boss. Oh, the turnaround.
Oh!
Okay, bait
The
it.
windmills hit him. Good. He dropped down, letting the windmills try to get him some extra cloud steps. Okay,
And that's it.
Get him.
Yeah. So while had to manipulate the boss a little bit, skipping a rocket cycle is still fine. It's nice. It's time wasted hanging out in that rocket.
Narga getting
Narga.
Oh, he almost
no.
saved it. He almost saved it.
Oh,
The Monka S room.
It gets us.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cutscene is of the checkpoint rather is right outside the room, so it can go right back in and try it again. Get that health. There you go. Yeah. So some of the tricks of it that get people is the timing of your rope darts. Because if you do it the same every time, of course, it'll come out the same way. But if you rope dart a little too soon, your rope dart could get eaten by the saw, and then after that, you're just scrambling to survive.
Yeah. A HalflingHelper on kind of the auto-scroller part of this boss. One time in a PB, I actually just messed up and got hit, and you lose about a minute if you get hit at the end of this, because you fall all the way down. And I have to ride the rocket all the way back up as well as waiting for the boss to do his attacks and stuff. So it's pretty easy as speedrunners to dodge that, but if you actually do get hit on that auto-scroller, it's really bad. Narga here as well on phase 1. Getting those windmills to finish him off. Nice stuff.
We'll see the slowest falling crown ever. It just kind of hangs out up there for a while and then drops. Just waiting for it to land so that we can move on. But yeah, you're on your 30th run, and you're on the Demon King again, and you start messing around with those things because you're bored. It's 90 seconds or so. And then something
Speaking
bad
of
happens
which,
to the lasers.
Narga's kind of known for
Oh
going
no,
for the in-between circles. I
I don't
I would
like that.
imagine he would not do that here.
I don't like that.
He's not doing it so far, and I'm definitely happy about that because I'd
Yeah.
have a heart attack. You can go in between two of these. Okay, good.
Okay, good. All right. So while Narga finished that off, we're back in Bamboo, just because it's a quick way to get to Catacombs. We got something we need to do there.
Absolutely, and
there's Rexton, but we don't really care about Rexton in this run, so we just kind of make our way to the Dark Cave.
yeah, and one thing I want to point out here is Halfling might be going for a really difficult reverse bamboo yeet here. He got the start of it, but unfortunately wasn't able to get through. He might be able to kind of get it going here again. It's a little awkward because that water's pushing against you, but still a nice kind of finish to that room. I'm curious once Narga gets there, if Narga's able to get that yeet, because it does look really cool if you can get the full thing. Yeah, Halfling going to be on his way to the Dark Cave. And now, while this isn't like the scariest level in the world, oh, nice strat on Halfling's end. It's not too scary. You still got to like, not sleep on these kind of like reverse bamboo, reverse catacomb sections, because you can save a lot of time here by nailing all these strats and just having good movement.
Yeah, this room in particular has some fun strats in it that I've seen, where people will like yeet through it and try to beat that crushing wall.
Yeah, I think Narga does go for that normally, so that's another strat. Halfling opted out of it just because it's a race. It's a little bit scary, so...
there is a risk of being crushed, so I can understand that.
Now, I've messed up that previous screen and accidentally touched that cutscene before on the way back through, and it's not a good time.
It's not. It's not. I think it usually results in a death.
Yeah, because you kind of get stuck and hit by spikes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Narga did get it, actually.
Ooh.
The reverse bamboo yeet I was talking about, so good stuff. Oh, wow. Narga is cleaning up this movement a lot right now.
There probably isn't too much to watch on Halfling's side, but I love this stage. Dark Cave is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's really cool, and how it's developed, like, people are going for, like, longer range rope darts and stuff now. That's how crazy it's getting. Like,
yeah,
just even though it's blind, you still are trying to save time every little bit you can.
It's so great.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, Narga got the bat eat as well.
I'm so proud.
Narga's having a really good catacombs here. Outstanding. But Halfling going into Riviere. Now this is a level.
Yeah, this stage does not mess around. I mean, we had our problems with Forlorn. Riviere is its own kind of beast. It's a pretty stage. It's got flower puzzles, and it's got death.
Death everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that was a little bit scary. Woo! Yeah, now...
Oh no!
Narga taking a death in Dark Cave, yeah. That's unfortunate. Halfling kind of getting sucked into that plant there.
He tried to avoid the plants.
Yeah. It still got him to where he wanted to go, just a little slower. It's all good.
Yeah, definitely not the worst one to get into. I didn't see exactly what spot Narga fell at, but I'm guessing it's this portion here, the long pit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you make a miss on any of those rope darts trying to get the lantern, and you better remember where the platforms are, or you're just falling to your death.
Nice
teleport there. That teleport is so interesting because of its setup.
Now, Halfling taking the extra health there as well, but go ahead on the setup there.
Oh, just the interesting setup where you... of how you position and have to damage down that green kappa so that it dies at the position you want to be in.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Oh boy, I could tell. Yeah, this room is really cursed, and Halfling, his opening was a little different than how it normally is. Oh. So I could do it was going to be scary, but he
Beautiful.
does clutch it out. Oh.
I'm not middle asleep tonight.
Yes, same. This is pretty crazy. Oh, Halfling's going for the faster bird yeet setup.
I
this
have
is actually
never
dangerous.
seen that.
Yeah, that is faster, but it's dangerous because that middle section is harder. Oh, Halfling missed the slash there, getting up. Is he still going for the damage boost? There's no way, right? Oh my goodness, he's crazy.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop. Okay.
Oh, almost didn't stop.
Still, the being there, that was wild. I have never seen
crazy here too.
Yeah, I've never seen that setup for the bird before, and I love it.
Affleck almost died with those spikes because he goes for a yeet there as well. You could actually yeet there instead of taking the plant, but the really scary part is there's spikes if you miss the rope dart, and if you don't react with the wingsuit really fast, you actually just fall on the spikes and die, and it's so tragic because he also skipped that checkpoint earlier.
That's
on
right.
That bird yeet setup, so you lose a lot of time. But he was able to get through it, which is great.
Cool. We got through our puzzle room. Narga's going into the logs now.
Yeah, this logs room is rough. Narga also kind of, his setup got messed up a little bit, so he's going to be waiting a cycle out there. I respect that.
Yeah.
I'm curious if Narga also opts for the faster setup here. He's actually the one who came up with this setup. But it's pretty... Oh my goodness, he's going for it. He's skipping the checkpoint. He's jumping. If you miss that windmill, you fall into the water and die, but he got it. And he goes for a little bit of a different setup here. Let's see if Narga opts for all these damage boosts. This is such a tense room.
Okay, took the bat. Yeah, it took the bat hit. Plenty of health. Plenty of health.
Good.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Really well done. Oh, and he gets the eat!
What?
Insane. That's what the halfling went for that.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It's awesome. Now,
also, there's a boss going on.
Yeah, halfling on the boss. This is one of the fastest bosses in the game, if it goes well. Halfling getting a good opening to the setup, and he does get the one cycle off screen.
That's so cool.
Man, just amazing play from these runners right now. Yeah, that was sick.
All right, and halfling taking a death.
Yeah.
Respect.
You know, that's something funny. I don't know if you heard this, Minus, but we actually walk off to the right and turn left right before we die because Quarble appears behind you. And the closer he is to your time shards at the top right, the more time it saves. Because
y'all are wild.
They don't have to travel as far to get into his mouth.
That makes a lot of sense. Y'all are wild. Yeah.
Halfling actually had that idea, and it's so brilliant. I could never stop being impressed by coming up with that idea. Like Halfling coming up with that. It's awesome.
That's so cool. We're going back into Grotto right now. Narga's gonna be doing the fight while Halfling makes their way over to the underwater maze to get to our next stage.
Yeah, that death on Halfling's end was intentional. It just gets you back to that checkpoint sooner than having to go all the way through all those screens after beating the boss. So Narga will be going for that death as well. Let's see, though, on Narga's end, if Narga is able to get that one cycle. It's pretty tricky. If you barely have enough time to do it, and you're having to do off-screen DPS. Narga getting it as well!
Wow!
That's not
so cool.
easy. Good stuff.
That is so good. So he'll be heading that way as well to do the underwater maze. And not too much to speak on it. It's a static maze, so if you know the way, you know the way. And I think in New Game Plus, you actually already have the item anyway, so...
Yeah, really I was kind of hoping just for the comedy that someone would still accidentally go the wrong way in this tournament, but with the glowing sparkles, it makes it really hard to go the wrong way. So I haven't seen it yet.
So just to recap on what we pulled off, since getting the Hope Note, we went to Forlorn to pick up the crown from the Demon King, and then we went to Riviere to get the Magic Fairy. Those two items are going to be essential for getting one of our notes later. So we'll get that eventually. So now we're going to be doing our note cleanup. So our first one is going to be here. We need to get the Note of Love here in Sunken Shrine. So we got to go pick up 2 different crests to open the door to get the note.
Yeah, and a really clean opening there into Sunken Temple from Halfling. This is one of those levels, in my opinion. It's not too bad, like compared to some of the other stuff like Riviere and all this. But when things go wrong, they go really wrong in this level. Is usually how it goes. There's spikes everywhere.
Why did I ever think to Hansan off of spikes? Like that just never occurred to me.
There's a lot of spikes you can't. Just some you can for some reason, and those are some of those ones that you can Hansan. So
that was really fast.
Yeah,
that halfling climb right there.
Now, normally in this on halfling side, there's this little puzzle. I mean, not really a puzzle, but you change time several times. But we're just gonna get windmills to fall us into the water and kill those blocks for us.
I always thought that puzzle was dumb, and I'm glad we don't have to do it. Call it a puzzle. It's more like a chore.
Yeah, absolutely. As speedrunners, you know, there's no surprise to the puzzle element. It's just like, oh, okay, go up here, change time, go down, kill the blocks, go up, change the time, and it just takes forever.
We got the sun crest coming out. We're gonna go pick up the moon crest on the other side, and then we'll be done. Narga's coming in. I really like their consistency, getting like the one tile swims and things like that.
Let's see if Halfling goes for the crazy cycle here. Halfling is going for it! Halfling, go for it! Oh! I saw there was a hiccup in the... To get that cycle, that's like the best cycle you can get, he was going for. To get that cycle, you need clean movement. And he had a hiccup there. He tried to save it with the Hansan, but unfortunately, he got crushed there. And that, you know, is a bit of a rough death.
Because we don't pick up the checkpoint there, so it's all the way back to where the Suncrest was.
Yeah.
Because those items do also save your game.
Halfling is going for... Oh, come on, Halfling. Don't go for the cycle again. He was going for it, but he
caught himself. He's like, nope, not making that.
It's a scary spot because you're used to Tabby working. Ninja Tabby, you know, able to run on water, but as soon as a wall's in front of you and there's spikes under you, it's scary to figure out how to... get through that situation.
So Narga's now picking up the sun. So they're, half of Moon's puzzles apart?
Yeah. So this is not, like in any percent, this is close. This is close now. Because, I mean, there's a level called Music Box at the end of this run that you have to do. So unless you have like a 6-minute lead going into Music Box, you never feel that safe.
Never. Oh, especially with Music Box. We'll get to that later. Oh, what a stage.
Absolutely. Oh no, Halfling, get up there! Oh, this is such an awkward room if you don't get the, if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, that lip there just really, it doesn't work in your favor, right? So you really just got to make it that height, or I guess reset. Try the room. Try the cycle again. So Halfling is now done, and we get to sit here and watch a kind of minute cutscene or so while we pick up the note of love.
Yep, absolutely. And I am loving these runners' play right now. They are both, making this look absolutely amazing. Sure, there's a couple hiccups and some deaths here and there, but like the overall movement and the strats they're nailing are so difficult, and they're making a lot of it look easy. It's great to see. Let's see if Darga's able to get through this room without... Okay, good. He does get that rope dart.
Yep.
It's little things like that, making up a little time here and there.
I mean, I think Narga is less than a minute behind. Coming into the cutscene, I mean, Halfling's still in it.
Mm-hmm.
So... Oh, so exciting.
Yeah, it looks like the timer is working on Narga's stream, actually. I loaded up Narga's, and it looks like Narga is only about 30 to 40 seconds behind Halfling.
For the real time? Wow.
For the loadless time. So it's actually very close right now. So now we do have Halfling going through Glacial again. Now, we praised Glacial earlier. It is one of the best levels in the game. design wise, and for a speed run to go forward through. But I actually think it's really awkward to backtrack through this level.
Oh yeah,
it feels so much more like it was built for to go forward.
Oh yeah. And it's. I love it for its climb, but its descent just doesn't. It's a little interesting to me that there's so many death pits in an area that you're going down.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes it feel a little unnatural.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely, this level shines forwards and not so much backwards. But it's a short stage, so they're just gonna fly through it and get into Skylands.
Yeah. So what we're doing now is we're coming over to what you typically have to do is you would have to go and take the ferry to cure the monk, so the monk would come in 8-bit and break the ice on the lantern so that you can get the cloud steps to make it across to save Manfred. That's a lot to say. We're just going to say no, because Windmill Shurikens get the cloud steps, so.
Yeah.
Monk will be fine.
You can skip that in New Game as well, but it's a lot more convoluted and difficult.
Oh, yeah.
In New Game Plus, just throw some windmills and it's going to work out for you.
I actually learned the leashless setup, and that hurts. It hurts my hands.
It's rough. It's rough, yeah. It is rough.
But New Game Plus, it's pretty standard. Throw the Windmill Shuriken, see what you can skip.
Yep. That's pretty much how I think our approach has been to every room. It just, what if I just throw some windmills here? Let's see what can happen.
We're coming into Skylands now, which is, we're coming in shutting off 4 different shields, essentially, so we can make it through and meet the Clockwork Concierge to pick up the Note of Symbiosis. So that is why we were in this stage. It's a really long stage, and it's got these Manfred segments with mashing. Grun, do you ever think you get some of your Cuphead fills out when doing this stage?
Oh, absolutely. This is the level where, you get to mash that button, and it feels good if you're good at mashing. It can be tricky. It's interesting because kind of based on your mashing speed, some people opt for some different techniques and stuff on the boss fight itself, because the boss especially is based off your mashing speed, so it really does affect the fight.
Yeah, there's not much buffer, so they'll come out just about as fast as you can push that button.
Yeah, absolutely. Narga mashing really fast right now. That's actually a really good mash. Narga plays on controller, but he actually uses the keyboard to mash. I believe he's got like 2 different keys bound to shoot, and he just alternates between them, and he moves with his analog stick. So he's got his left hand moving with analog, and his right hand alternating keys on the keyboard.
I love it.
Yeah.
You'll see probably a little bit less. I think they're still doing it to just for the sake of it, but even more so in New Game, this stage is like your farm. This is where you're coming to get a huge chunk of your money for the early parts of Second Quest. So you're trying to kill everything, and you're mashing and mashing. New Game Plus, I imagine it's a little more chill in these sections. Kill whatever you want.
I've even earlier in the tournament, L3 played these sections pacifist. Just tried to not kill anything. Unfortunately, you do get bullied a bit, but it's kind of cool because you can play it that way. Whereas, New Game, you need those time shards.
We're coming into the first Skyland we went through was the Air Skyland. We're coming into the Earth now. Earth actually has a huge shortcut in it, and we're going to abuse it.
Okay, first try on Halflings in. That looked so easy.
Even faster in New Game Plus.
Yeah, it looked easy, but that Windmill Shuriken, it needs to be at the absolute peak of your jump, or it does not hit that meatball. So that was good to first try that on Halflings in.
And just like that, we're done with Earth.
Yep, it's through. Now, there actually is a way to... very recently, Blau found a way to get Manfred ahead of the screen, and then you could just kind of fly to the end. Kind of like the Blindfred, but you're riding Manfred this time. And it probably is an out-of-bounds trick. I don't think there's an official ruling on it, but everyone's like, it's probably out of bounds. We're off screen.
Yeah, we actually did talk about it a little bit offline, and at least our initial thing is, well, no one's really fighting on it, but it looks, taste, and smells like out of bounds, so we're not going to really push any harder unless someone wants to challenge it. And then there are some talking points, I think, to be had, but until someone challenges it, I don't see the point anymore.
For sure. But these auto-scrollers aren't so bad. It's kind of fun. You know, riding Manfred and shooting fireballs. And like you said, new game especially, you want to like get as many shards as you can, so that's kind of like almost like a little mini game to keep you occupied while you go through these long auto-scrollers.
For sure. We didn't really talk about it, and it's not really a fear for these runners, but it did happen once in the tournament, so I'll mention it. The only point of shards at this point is to make sure you have some, so if you die, you can pay the price. If you can't pay the 50 time shards it takes for Quarble to resurrect you, you game over, and your file gets deleted. So, especially at this point in a run, it's over. But we had it one time, actually during the qualifiers of this tournament, and it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, it can happen.
It can happen. Yeah. Especially earlier on, but I think, I remember when it happened now. Yeah,
the monkey wrench, or the money wrench. I'm sorry,
the money wrench. It was at the end of the run. It was the money wrench being the final note. Oh, breaks your heart.
It's rough, yeah.
So
we do have Narga going for a yeet here. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, unfortunately, doesn't get it. That's actually a really hard yeet because that guy tries to snipe you with a javelin, and it's just kind of awkward.
I don't like these javelin throwers. I know that they're really just reskins, or I'm pretty sure they're just reskins of the blue kappas, but they don't feel like that. They are snipers.
I know, those javelins are out for blood. They're pretty annoying. Narga getting through that switch room. Some of those switch rooms are surprisingly tricky to do fast, just to get all those switches hit and then get to the end. I think they're trying to loop some windmills, but
I think they're on the same Manfred section right now. They're both going to fire. Let's see. Narga just finished water, and I think Halfling is going to. So Halfling's entering fire right now. I feel like Narga's caught up some time somewhere.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I guess we'll find out at the end of Concierge. I do say, unless Halfling's got a new technique, Narga's mashing is a bit better, so Narga could make up some time on Concierge as well. But I don't know, everything Halfling's been practicing and everything. It's just, mashing is one of those things, it's difficult to, train to get good at it, you know? So, we'll see how it goes. Also, I mentioned Narga's controls earlier. So his attack button is on right trigger, which...
Oh, that's weird.
It's strange, yeah, and imagine trying to mash the right
I can't, yeah. I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, oh, wow.
So that's why he has to do that keyboard thing. So it's cool he found a way to make it work with his setup. But now Halfling going into Concierge. Going to be getting the charge fireball here and some mashing.
Just watching this is hurting my wrist. Okay, so Halfling's choosing to use the inventory to buffer a lot of the fireballs. What's happening behind the scenes is the inventory is pulled up and everything in the game is paused, but the fireballs still spawn. So Halfling's spawning fireballs on top of each other, and then when the inventory turns off, they all hit the boss. So it's a safer strat for this boss, but you lose a little bit of time relatively trying to get the right amount of hits and the pause unpause.
Yeah, if you do it really well, you can overshoot and waste time, but if you actually unpause before the thing dies, it can even save a little time just because there's not those cannonballs blocking your shot.
Look at that mashing on Narga's side. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's going to make up some time here.
And so I think Narga's started to opt into it as well. And so I see what you're saying. They'll probably put it in a little bit just to... Because they want to be able to stay in position.
Cannonballs and those rockets that kind of also block... Because they could come out and block shots, like all that little projectile stuff.
That's true. That's true.
So the tricky part, though, is... making sure you unpause quick enough. Because if you keep it paused, you're just wasting time,
Mm-hmm. Boss is already done.
Yeah,
got
Narga's
Halfling
having
picking
a
up
fast fight.
the note of symbiosis there. Narga's on the last phase, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, this is getting closer. Narga definitely made up some time on that boss. And I think a little on the stage as well.
Very good.
We might even be in like only a 30-second lead on Halflings in now.
So I think it's just final note cleanup. So let's see. We've got the note of strength, the note of hope, we've got the note of love, and the note of symbiosis. So there's 2 left. So we're going to go down and grab one of them now. We have the note of chaos down in the underworld, which we need to do an 8-bit revisit for.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the first time we went through, it's a pretty short split in comparison to the rest of them. It doesn't mess around, though.
Oh, yeah. There is going to be some lava and stuff that's a little bit scary, and also a very cursed saw jump that I think everybody at least tries to go for it once and hopes, but it can that room can get pretty nasty sometimes. So
Bye, Pyro. Sorry, it takes too long to talk to you.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's like what, 5 seconds to talk to him, but
Yeah, that's 5 seconds we don't have.
yeah.
Sorry, little man.
Yeah, it looks like there's about like a 39-second difference. But
Oh,
what is that?
interesting. Was Halfling just trying? I might have been just trying to rope dart over to the checkpoint. Huh? What a call.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he missed a jump input and just jumped late and then tried to wingsuit to save it.
That's what I was thinking.
That's one of those things, like, I swear a lot of times people in any percent where they die is the most unexpected spots, because a lot of the scary spots you practice a lot. And you just don't expect these random little easy rooms to be scary, but that's where they catch you off guard sometimes.
So this is the new section, what we haven't seen in this area. There's not much to do in here because you gotta wait for these cycles. Mm-hmm. Nice. But coming up was the room that Gron was talking about.
Here it is. Halfling does get the saw jump, though.
Good.
It's just also, like, not only getting that, but he went for that at low HP, meaning that if he didn't get it, he would have had to have went through that room on 3 HP and avoided that last saw. That's on a really weird cycle if you go for the saw jump. So that was a huge risk on Halfling's end, but it did pay off for him because that saves like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's wild. And it saves so much. Oh, and Narga got it too.
Oh, what? I think this is the first race both runners have got saw jump.
Wow,
that's crazy.
It's risky on so many levels, even from like the potential death in the room itself.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't get the checkpoint in the room. So, and this room that Narga's in now, both of them actually, is scary. Like, dropping that lava is a death. Every platform is falling.
Every time I see a rope dart not land that they clearly wanted it to, I get so scared in this room.
And there you go. Awesome.
I get getting through it.
All right. Now, we're going to go to the corrupted future and pick up our final note, the note of courage. This is where we needed the crown to get into the portal and the fairy to help basically allow us to jump back and forth through time like we were doing before, so we can get through this area.
And I did check the timers. Halfling is ahead only by 15 seconds now.
Whoa.
So this is close. Especially with Music Box remaining.
I'm not ready.
Oh my gosh, Halfling went for that rope dart there, where if you missed it, you fall into that pit of whatever that goop is that you do not want to be in.
There are no checkpoints, really, in Corrupted Future. So a death takes you all the way back to the portal. That is both a good thing and an awful thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, Narga might go for a teleport here. It's a cool setup he came up with. Nice! Yeah,
I've never
it
seen
tries to teleport to that Kappa, but it gets you stuck on the wall because he's like encased. He has like he's fully walled in. So
that.
yeah, it just goes over there, and it's a pretty cool little time save.
Wow.
This is one of those levels that it's kind of easy to just get lazy with your movement on it, and because there's not too much going on the way through.
Yeah,
But,
there's a few scary pits that you just have
Yeah.
to pay attention to, but otherwise, there's downtime. You're going through here. There's not too much to do until you get to the end, and then that's where it all comes down.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. We're not really expecting too much craziness here, but you never know. Halfling's going to go first.
See what happens here.
And that's what you want to see. So
It's always so tempting, isn't it?
it is. It's always so tempting. That's what
Yeah.
you want to see. So So the nice thing about those checkpoints missing in this stage is that we didn't pick up any checkpoints. So when we died, we went back to the beginning. But we're still in the state where we're picking up the note, and that kind of persists through the death. So we got the note. Narga got it as well. So there's this whole chase sequence that's supposed to happen. At that point, the game would save, and we would be stuck there having to do the chase scene. But we're not going to. So nice escape. Narga, we'll see Narga doing the same thing.
Yeah, it looks
But
like
that's
after that
all notes.
corruptive future, Narga is only 12 seconds behind going into music box here. So
Oh, it's so exciting.
yeah, Narga actually made up like just a couple more seconds in that corruptive future. You know, getting stuff like that teleport and just, you know, really clean movement.
Just to show, because I think Narga had 2 deaths in 8-bit, and
Yeah.
just goes to show like how much they truly mattered in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely. And now here we are, the grand finale of this run, the music box. This level.
This level is amazing.
It is.
And also scary.
Very scary. I'd say easily the scariest level in the game. Oh my goodness, Halfling getting
Wow.
Great cycle there.
Yeah, there's some stuff you've put out recently that talks a bit more about how to like really handle like the timing for the traps and stuff. Just to cover it high level real quick, this particular level is special in that a lot of its trap movement and cycles are all based on the music, and that affects a lot more than you think it does. But first and foremost, the traps themselves actually give us a way of knowing the moment we're walking into a room what state it's going to be in.
It's almost like a frame roll thing if you're familiar with that from other runs, because it's when you enter a room, depending on what part of the song. Oh my goodness, Halfling! What was that?
Why? You didn't get the checkpoint? Oh, I love that.
Oh, the pause buffers.
Oh, there's so much to talk about there. So by the traps work onto the beat of the music.
Halfling, get up there! Okay.
Come on. I can't even. I can't.
It's hard to even explain things when they're going through this level. It's so scary.
So what? Let me see if Narga does it too. Oh, I think they did it earlier.
Yeah, Narga did it earlier in the setup.
So by actually skipping one of the beats in the music, I think it's the drum. And essentially the trigger to move the traps never happens. So you can keep everything in like a frozen state if that part of the music never hits while the game's unpaused.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Halfling did not go for a fast setup here, and I know Narga will. If Narga gets this, he will be caught up. If Narga goes for it and gets it. This is so scary, though. Oh, he gets it! Wait, the ending? The ending? Yes, perfect.
Beautiful.
Same room on Narga's end. I would say these runs are probably tied now in loadless time. I won't know for a little bit, but that was incredible on Narga's end. That was a huge time save and such a huge play to make at the end of this race here.
So much happened there. Like all of the precise movement and stuff to make sure you have your height, but also pausing the game on the right beat to make the trap pause.
That's a lot to do all simultaneously and not mess up.
God, I hurt my brain.
I have no idea who's going to win this race. They are
idea.
like neck and neck in loadless time right now. So this is
really
actually extremely close.
I really like those New Game Plus setups for the puzzle rooms. That's really cool. And a nice seat there. So they are, well, at least from looking at the stream, a room apart and probably, I mean, taking into account the lag, I mean, I can't call it at all.
Yeah, same. Oh no, Narga, not the cursed room. Narga, not the cursed room!
Oh, Narga!
Oh, and that's why we call that the cursed room.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, and Halfling's having a little... Okay, there we go. Having a hard time with the setup here.
Yeah. That did lose a little time. Not as much though, unfortunately, as that death cost Narga. But there is still... This is still not over because there's a few rooms that are still very scary, very easy to die in. And the boss fight, you can miss a quick kill that actually costs a lot of time as well. So Narga's still in this despite that death. Oh boy, Halfling. Okay. This room is pretty scary.
I've just watched Narga too, using more of the beat pauses and...
Yeah. Narga goes for a lot of those.
There's another mechanic to it that we never see in runs because there's no use for it, but it also pauses like physics calculations, like for gravity. So you can walk on air doing that same trick, walking off certain traps. It's really interesting.
It's really cool.
Just no use for it yet.
Not yet. Yeah, always say yet. Oh boy. Okay, nice.
There you go.
Nice recovery on Narga's in there. This room can be kind of scary, but Narga doing it really well there still.
And Halfling, you can tell, kind of going into that room at just the right beat, you know, okay, I'm going to make it through this. I mean, they'll probably damage boost either way, but
yeah,
you get that
here's
feeling.
Kind of the last room you can lose a bunch of time in is on Halfling's side. Sometimes this room's pretty awkward, but it looks like Halfling is... Yeah, Halfling's just very good right now. So this will come down to the last boss fight. If Halfling is able to get this quick kill, Halfling will for sure have won this race. But if he misses it, I'm not so sure. We'll have to check the times. So this is the final boss of the run, Phantom. And he's going to be trying to knock this this blast into him, to knock him down on the ground, and then kind of manipulate him to do this mask attack that you can get a lot of damage in on him. This guy has a lot of health. Yeah, absolutely. It's really unfortunate about that death because I actually think they'd be like dead even going into this fight.
Yeah, I was worried. It's like, oh, it's going to be so close. I'm going to have to start looking at stuff.
Yeah. We'll see how this fight goes, though. Halfling does get teleport. Amazing.
Yeah,
and
I've heard of some setups for that to get more consistent with it, but that's... Oh, just the damage.
And I think Halfling will get the quick kill here. Oh, Halfling does miss the quick kill. If Narga gets a really insane fight, we might have to check the times. It might come down to that.
You have to pull up.
Narga keeping the windmills up even while damage boosting. Oh, this is... Yeah. I'm pretty sure Narga has an insane fight here. Yeah, that is a super fast kill on Narga's side. Oh boy. I am not sure. I think this is Halfling's victory, but I will not say for sure until we see the time at the end. This is really close. Oh boy. Gonna have a mash section here. And Halfling going to be finishing up with a 126-44. GG to Halfling.
Very good. And I see Nargis is finishing up with this side on their stream. I see the finish at a 127.01.
Man, that was so close. Like, without that death in the cursed room, Narga would have won that race. That is so crazy. Narga really catching up there after, having a bit of a rough start. And GG to both runners. Like, that was a great race, and
yeah,
I'm glad we got to commentate that.
Oh, me too. Oh, just to be able to sit here and talk through that, what we just witnessed. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was sick. So we might be getting them in for an interview. I guess we'll see here if they want to or not. But that was, yeah.
We
really
saw a
back
lot
and forth,
Yeah, we saw a lot of back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I was really happy to see Narga's consistency and a lot of the time save throughout the whole run, even to make that race as close as it was.
Yeah, and nailing the rhythm bird. I think after the rhythm bird, Narga was actually ahead a second or two at that moment. Like he had passed Halfling back up because Halfling kind of went for a safer strat, and rhythm bird saves a lot of time if you actually nail it, and Narga did it beautifully there, even with the 2 pauses and everything. So that was really, really cool to see.
I know.
So yeah, I guess Halfling will be moving on into the grand finals. So me and him will have to get that match scheduled up, and that will be the final match of the Messenger tournament here. So I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that, and it's going to be a good time. Oh, I probably need to push. Oh no, not that. Let's see. I think we have to push some things on the commentary controls here to actually get them in. I forgot about that. So I'm just gonna do that, and we should be good. I completely forgot that was a thing, but they should be joining in for an interview now.
I see. Okay. Well, while I see them coming over right now, actually, you know what? I'll wait. I see them coming over.
Yeah, get them in here in just a second. Do we have? Are we able to move them in here?
I don't. Oh.
There we are. Halfling and Narga. GG's, guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
What a wild race. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
everything-
that was.
My everything hurts and I didn't even run it. So, GG's to both of you. Halfling, we see you had a 126.44, and Narga, you came in just after the 127 mark. Insane how close y'all were. Starting with Narga. Narga, I know that your 8-bit was feeling rough, but the rest of the match, like the whole second quest part, it was just time save after time save after time save. That even up to Music Box just kept us on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, it was. Okay, I had a really stupid death in Dark Cave, which lost me a lot of time, and I honestly have no idea how I died in Music Box. Like, I'm just freaking holding wingsuit, just gliding down. I'm like, you know what, just get me there. And the platform's like, oh, screw you, just fall into the pit. I'm like,
no.
Dude,
Oh.
that was so stupid. I don't even know how that happened.
We were staring at it, just going, "Oh no,
That's
that
the
room,
stupidest
that
thing
room,
I've ever seen in my life, honestly.
Yeah, that room is brutal."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and,
the rest of the Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
on. Oh, I was just saying that the rest of the second quest, yeah, it was pretty good. Reveal was excellent. Sunken Shrine was good. The rest of it, yeah, I was saving a lot of time. Even on my splits, I was almost going to PB, which is really insane considering my 8-bit was absolute garbage. But yeah.
Yeah, that halfling, you painted yourself a really good lead there in 8-bit, and you maintained it through the whole
Yeah,
run.
I had my best split time ever. My quotient was like which is the best I've ever gotten. And then
Nice.
linear, Crags was bad. Part.
Yeah, I think that 8-bit would have been, like, without having to go for the note, because it also took you a second try to get it in Crags. I think that would have been like a high 20, like a 2449 or 2450 or something like that.
It was 2518. Yeah, it would have been a high 2450, I think. Or maybe even a low one, but yeah. So I mean, I definitely will take that. I'm really glad with that.
Yeah, and what was interesting is, like, you did keep the lead up until Rhythm Bird. Narga got Rhythm Bird and actually was ahead of you, I believe, by a second or two after that. So it was like so close. What was your mindset going into that Rhythm Bird room? Like, did you just opt out of it? I actually didn't see the opening to it.
I've never put in the time to learn Rhythm Bird, so I just have consigned myself to losing 10 seconds or.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's so scary in a race as well.
Especially in a race, I don't.
Mm-hmm. But Narga, you did nail it. I bet you were feeling pretty good after at least getting that beautiful, like, perfect setup with the 2 pauses and everything.
I was feeling pretty good about that music box. Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to be ahead or anything like that, but like I was not expecting to die in that room. Like it was so stupid. I was like, oh, this is all going well. You know, I saved like 40 seconds over the course of the whole of second quest after the follow death and after all of that. And yeah, I was just going really well, and yeah, the game just decided that it didn't like me.
Yeah.
Just taking a second for some of the highlights though in the music box. I can't say I've quite seen it so clean where you're doing Rhythm Bird, but also you're pausing the music in rhythm to keep the traps from moving so you can make it all the way over. There's so much that goes into that trick, and it blows my mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of developments with regards to how the pauses work and a lot of the strats. Like the pauses that I was doing in the other rooms, even they're like 10 times shorter than the pauses we used to do before. So yeah, there's been a lot of new strats and stuff, and it's been really fun. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of you? Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, Halfling, Riviere.
I was about to say.
I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, he's not putting on the brakes because you were going through that damage boost section with the fireflies and the spikes.
Yeah,
and it looked like you were just going.
Too. Yeah, no, I got like I was up by the second to last firefly, and I was like, there's a moment where I thought I was dead.
Yeah.
But Riviere is always, and then missing the rope dart after that was.
Oh, I know. I had a heart attack because I knew that, like, that's the way you die there, is if you're raised fearless, you miss the rope dart and you fall right onto those spikes. And I was like, oh no. So scary.
Yeah. Lots of lucky moments for me like that.
And then you also played the log room like a mad lad. And I may not be able to sleep tonight because of that room exactly.
Yeah, we don't talk about anything that happens in that room.
It's a rough room. Those freaking logs.
Yeah.
So to talk a little bit about what's going on next, Narga, this has put you out of the tournament now, 3rd place. How was the tournament for you? Like, how do you feel coming out of the tournament? How are you feeling?
I think honestly, a lot of my performances have been not as good as I would have liked, to be honest. But at the same time, like this run, for example, it was awful, but it was still like close to my PB, which sucks. Like this run could have been 1.5 minutes ahead of like what it was right now if I just hadn't died. So yeah, my performances haven't been the best personally, but in general, it's been really fun. Finding new strats and pushing this category, because this category is, first of all, I like this category. I really wanted to run it anyway, and it hasn't been played a lot by people in general, but due to the tournament, it has been pushed a lot, and a lot of new stuff has been found, and yeah, it's been really fun, definitely. So I have to say that I did enjoy the tournament, even though I personally might not have played really well in it.
Even if you're not coming out on top, I mean, getting third place, being on the podium, right, and putting on one hell of a show. So the strats on there, I'm probably never going to forget that particular performance. So, well done. That was a great time.
Thanks. Yeah, it was great. It was fun.
As for you, Halfling, I know you're now moving on to the grand finals. You're getting another chance to take on Grand here for the first place title.
Yeah, terrifying.
So, other than terrifying, how you feeling?
I don't know. I mean, I think a little bit with this race was like, I'm really glad I was actually within a minute of PB with that big death in Cloud Ruins, and I had a lot of nice golds. I golded Monarch and just Forlorn. So I don't know. Hopefully, I don't think I've really gotten a run in this tournament that I've been super proud of. So hopefully, going into grand finals, something like that can happen. But it's been crazy. To
Sure. So the grand finals will be set up probably within the next day or two to plan for. The way the grand finals are going to work, in case there was any uncertainty around it, as a double elimination tournament, Grand will need to lose twice in order to be out. So you'll go into the grand finals, and if you win the next match, there will be one more after that for the winner.
Mm-hmm.
Not to put pressure on you.
I'm glad it'll be scheduled on different days from the sounds of it, so you don't have to do both runs back to back.
Yeah, that would be exhausting.
Yeah, it's such a tiring category, to race especially.
For sure. So we'll have that information up and probably on the schedule within the next day or two, even if y'all get it on the schedule later today. But otherwise, for everyone watching, stay tuned for later in the tournament. We're going to have a wild grand final between these two runners. Grand, since you're here, we could talk about it from your perspective, because I know you've been able to have a day or two off and to hang out while these folks finished up the bottom bracket. How are you feeling, especially watching Halfling today going into your race?
Every time I see Halfling's 8-bit, I get super, super scared. It's like, if this was an 8-bit tournament, I would be losing 100%, in my opinion. Like, a pretty high chance. Halfling's 8-bit is absolutely monstrous. And I think Halfling's second quest is actually very strong, too, and it's just been overshadowed a little bit by a few, like, awkward deaths and stuff. But, like Halfling was saying, if you get the run that you want, it's going to be a darn good time, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, I think our sobs are within 15 seconds, so...
Yeah, there's huge potential for, like, an awesome close race there, and I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I feel good that I'm in the winner's side, so I only have to win one, which is, the best feeling you could have in this kind of pressure. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
As am I. So we'll start wrapping it up here too, because I think there's other stuff on the schedule. So we'll just start wrapping up by saying thank you so much, Narga and Halfling, for showing up and giving it everything in this race. It was such a wonderful thing to commentate and see. Thank you, Grand, for joining and helping me commentate. It was a pleasure, of course.
Yeah, I loved it, man. Thank you as well for all you've done to kind of help get this tournament off the road and everything, and all that's super super appreciated. Seeing the love for the the Bamboo crew, it's a great time.
So we'll start. Let's see. I forgot how to do the thing here, but we'll start wrapping it. Y'all, thank you so much for coming and checking out the tournament. Stay tuned for the grand finals. Will be coming up later this week, and that's all I have. Thank y'all so much, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
GG.
Bye.
man.
GG. Yeah.
Bye.
GG, dude.